Hello and welcome to the NFL Game Week preview. Every time I will try to sum up every single game into just 3 words and then give you much more of the context. Now, we will start today with Commanders versus the Giants. And my storyline is, my 3-word summary is, should be sexy. And what I'm talking about? Well, on one side, we will start with this, is Jaden freaking Daniels, the guy that had the best rookie season that I have ever seen. And yes, I am watching football only 10 years, so my sample size is not the biggest, but I don't think I'm alone in this. Jaden was freaking awesome, like taking a team that was arguably bottom 3 in terms of roster talent and dragging it on his shoulders towards conference championship. This dude was a freaking star. On the other side, he's going to face Sexy Dexy, aka Dexter Lawrence. And boy oh boy, I cannot wait for this matchup. Especially Jaden Daniels, his ability to scramble, to be composed even under pressure against this defensive line, lead by Sexy Dexy. Let's freaking go. Bring it on. Trust me, guys, like, you don't want to miss this matchup. I mean, you know, like, it's like, oh, it's just the Giants, they're boring, they're this, they're that. And Commanders, they probably will regress. We kind of got burned out by the Texans last year. No, you want to watch this game. I guarantee you it's going to be one of the best games on Sunday. Take my words for it. Now, it's not only about these two guys, because there is another matchup that I'm really excited. It's Terry McLaurin versus Paulson Adebo. There are questions about, can Paulson Adebo be your best outside corner? And I think those questions are definitely warranted. As of right now, he is a good 2, very good 2. But as 1, he might struggle there. And against him, Terry McLaurin, one of the best guys in the NFL to do it. The guy that, they finally solved the contract issues. Perhaps there could be a little bit of rustiness that could be an advantage for Paulson Adebo, and especially how the defensive line is going to pressure Jaden Daniels is going to be massive. At the same time, Terry is scary. And Paulson Adebo, as much as I think this is a good signing and definitely an upgrade from where the Giants were last year, this could be the one to exploit. Now, we are not over with this game, because the same is on the other side. Malik Neighbors with Russell Wilson. I know it doesn't necessarily scream so much optimism, but trust me, I think Malik Neighbors is absolutely happy to exchange Drew Lock, Daniel Jones, Tommy DeVito for Russell Wilson. And especially, he can unlock Malik Neighbors down the field even more than we've seen in the year 1, because Russell Wilson, as much as you might say like he's washed, trust me, he's still like 23rd, 24th best QB right now. Yeah, he doesn't have necessarily the most potential to improve that, but like, he's a good starting quarterback, and he throws special deep balls. And Malik Neighbors in that area, he could really take off. And who is going to match up on him? Will it going to be rookie Trey Amos or last year addition in Marshall Latimore? They thought Marshall is going to fix their secondary issues. It was not necessarily the case. When he played, he was not good. And, the age, the injuries, what kind of Marshall Latimore will we see in this matchup could actually be very low-key important for how this game is going to go. Because my neighbors can get absolutely hot and just take over this game. You want my hot take? Giants will scrape, and I would not put it past them to actually game out victorious. Now, for the next game, we go with Broncos versus Titans. And my storyline, my 3-word summary is, good luck, Cam. And I'm talking about Cam Ward. Dude, this is nuts. Like, first game of your NFL career, and you are facing Denver Broncos defense that was already one of the best defenses in the league. They just upgraded in the offseason. And they have Defensive Player of the Year in Pat Surtain. Yeah, welcome. And you are actually going on the road? Oh my god. Good luck, Cam. Like, this is tough awakening. And we talk about this in previous video. A lot of the storylines for week 1 is welcome to the NFL moment. I think for Cam Ward, this is going to be really welcome to the NFL moment. I mean, Denver seemed to be really big favorite for good reasons in this game. Is there matchups that could swing that? Let's check this out. Well, the one that I don't know if it could swing it, but I am absolutely excited about is the interior of the Titans in Jeffrey Simmons and Devondre Sweat, second year nose tackle that for year one defensive tackle, he was great. And there's no reason for me to believe that he just cannot get towards top 5 level as early as this year, potentially top 10 to be safe. Yeah, I definitely think that's on menu for him if he can sit straight, because there were some issues questioning his maturity. That's why he ultimately, I think, fall where he did in last year's draft. On the other side, one of the best guards in football in Quinn Miners. I'm sorry for that picture, but I mean, how could you not it? Like, this dude, I know it does not seem, he's athletic as all hell, and try to push him. But if there is one guy that can do it, I mean, Devondre Sweat is, even compared to Quinn Miners, just a massive human being. I'm very, very excited about the collision between these two guys. Now, it's going to be kind of, there's a storyline on the other side of the lines, and it's newly paid Nick Bonito, who is the highest paid non-QB in Broncos franchise history, 4 years, 106. I think that's banking on his progression, because I still see him as just an upper tier of the good starters, and I don't think those are worth 25 millions or 26 millions a year. But at the same time, he had really good season, and he can really, really unlock it this year. We are not talking just jumping up a tier. I think he can jump two tiers into an amazing starter for me and be somewhere in that like 15-ish best pass rusher in the league. I think that's absolutely for him possible this year. And on the other side, another guy that there was a lot of talk about him in the offseason, because everybody was criticizing how much money Dan freaking Moore got. And you see me grading it D+, which is not an F, which I think was my original grade. Why this is a D+? Well, you have clearly stated, yeah, we are going with Cam Ward. We will have a guy on a rookie deal. Let's protect him with the best thing we can do in this market. I mean, is this then more? If you are Titans, perhaps it was, man. Because like there were not that many great tackles. I question whether there was not a possibility to just talk with Chicago or talk with Packers, because they seem to be like potentially going into the debate whether they will pay Rashid Walker or Braxton Jones. Both of these guys, in my eyes, are much better than Dan Moore, especially Braxton Jones. But at the same time, you need to protect Cam Ward. And Dan Moore, compared to Nicolas Petit-Frere, who was there last year, that's a freaking massive upgrade. But if he struggles, which is absolutely freaking possible against Nick Bonito, don't worry. The 20 million a year price tag is going to come and be one of the headlines for this game. Ultimately, Broncos are heavy favorites. Cam Ward will need to be Jaden Daniels-esque in his first season, especially in this game, to drag them towards victories. Now, Seahawks, my Seahawks, yes, my Seahawks versus the 49ers. To me, the storyline here is under the radar. For both teams, it seems like there is a huge cluster of people that are, but it just comes both ways. Like I've seen a lot of media be like, oh God, Seahawks are not going to be good. They don't trust Sam Darnold. And that same part kind of has like 49ers as potential Super Bowl contenders. At the same time, I've seen like the other, which like 49ers, probably not a playoff team, too many injuries and risks there, and Seahawks to win this division. So it's like really split in between. But overall, it feels like both of these teams are a little bit underestimated. I would say Seahawks overall, and San Francisco perhaps in my view. So let's talk about this matchup. Now, it has to start with Sam Darnold versus Brock Purdy. With Sam, there's a lot of questions. Like, take him up to week 17 last year. He was like top 10 in terms of MVP conversations. He was playing dead well. Then take week 18 and his playoff performance, and we were like, gosh, this is our backup, hopefully. What version of Sam Darnold we were going to see? How good can he be outside of Kevin O'Connell, Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, and good offensive line? Because that was part of the problem, especially late in the year for Sam Darnold. Now going to the Seahawks, where the offensive line, I would say, is the best we've had in the last 5 years. but it's still like a bottom 5 in the league. So kind of, the spot that like could set up Sam Darnold to fail, but at the same time, I do really trust Kylian Kubiak. On the other side, we have Brock Purdy, who, I even made a video about this. I did question whether it was the smartest move for the 49ers going forward to pay as much money as they paid for him. You can watch it, it's behind the eyes of GM. When push comes to shove, do you really need to pay your franchise guy, who I view as a tier 3 quarterback, top level money? Because in terms of quarterbacks, it seems like whether you are Pat Mahomes or Trevor Lawrence or Brock Purdy, the asking price is similar, very, very similar. Or unless you are Cowboys, where you pay Dak $60 million a year for no good reason because you are Jerry Jones. Push that aside. I think Brock is a really, really good quarterback. This might be a year when we see much more of him needing to take this team on his shoulders when there is no Debo. The question is, will Brandon Ayuk be there? How much health is in Trent Williams? Well, yeah, I'm sorry guys, I was like already wanted to talk about CMC, aka Christian McCaffrey, and I'm like, Trenton McWilliams. I'm like, oh, so okay, Trent Williams and Christian McCaffrey. Sorry guys, very funny. Might be low-key funny. Tell me, was it funny? So we will see, and I think Brock is capable of doing that. At the same time, I do question the strategy a little bit. So both these guys do come under a little bit of pressure. Now, the matchup I'm very, very interested is Juwan Jennings. There is question if he's going to play. There were contract disputes. There's potentially some kind of low-key injury against Devon Witherspoon. Like, these two guys should be matching up pretty often in this game. And yeah, I'm excited for this matchup. I think Juwan Jennings is one of the most underrated wide receivers in the league. And with Spoon, I don't know, like, I kind of did not see him on any top 5 cornerback list out there. And I'm like, on my top 5, he's kind of on the verge of it. I love me some Spoon. With him, it's only, he doesn't have interceptions, man. But everything else, he plays on such a freaking high level. And I'm so, so excited for his year 3 and for this matchup. And now we talk about rookie impact, because there are 2 rookie guys that I think could have massive impact on this game. On the side of Seattle, Nick Emmanwori, this freak of an athlete with great testing that we moved up to take him. We spent not a small amount of resources to go and get this guy, who the belief is he could be the star defender of Kyle Hamilton's image in Mike McDonald's defense and could be a superstar for this team. Will this happen? And will it happen in year 1, week 1? Well, that's definitely a question. But if it's the case, I would say that could be the best how we can set up the secondary is Nick Emmanwori as that third safety, star defender, with Kobe Bryant, with Jordan Love and Devon Witherspoon and Tariq Woolen on the outside. I think the defense has a ton of potential. On the other side, the draft for the 49ers was about one thing and one thing only: improve the defensive line and pretty much take guys that will stop the run so Nick Bosa can kill you on third downs. Michael Williams was their first choice to do it, and he will need to have an impact on this game. Otherwise, they will not be able to exploit what is probably the biggest weakness of the Seahawks, aka their offensive line. At the end of the day, how can I not predict Seahawks to win? But this should be a fun one too. Packers versus Lions at Lambeau with Micah Parsons in the game. Oh, let's go. What do you think the storyline is here? Now it's not Micah, but kind of is. It's under the pressure. Well, yeah, it's kind of Micah, but not only Micah. But we'll start with him. So Micah Parsons is here, and yeah, what is there to say? They got a generational pass rusher. Jerry Jones screwed up in my eyes. There are some aspects of that trade that I understand. At the same time, it should never go there. And Micah Parsons is going to be a menace. How much of an impact is he going to be week 1? That's a question. He was struggling with back health, and he probably will be on a limited snap count. The guy that actually is under the pressure, whether Micah is going to go and get him under the pressure, is Jared Goff. Because this dude, for many people, he's not even tier 3 quarterback. To me, he's kind of the bottom tier 2, which is my amazing starters, but I would put him on the bottom of the tier. And I'm like, dude has really, really good processing. He's lethal pocket passer. He showed you like how quickly he can read defenses. He's freaking elite at that. Yes, he doesn't have mobility, and that's what I'm talking about. Because for the first time, like last 3 years, he's going to be without creative genius of Ben Johnson, and I would say even more importantly so, without one of the best offensive line in football. They will still be good, but there are weaknesses or potential weaknesses on this offensive line, especially with Frank Ragnow retirement. That's a huge one. But don't forget, Kevin Sattler was actually low-key very, very good for this team. So can he handle the pressure, or will he get rattled by it and just kind of come back towards being a tier 3 or perhaps even tier 4 that some people say he is? He is actually one of the guys that I think is under the most pressure this year to show what kind of caliber player he is. They paid him last offseason, first time without Ben Johnson in Detroit, first time without Frank Ragnow, and without the luxury of top 2 offensive lines. Can he do it? We will see. I trust him. Now, the same actually goes for Jordan Love. I'm definitely lower on Jordan Love that I would say the overall perspective is, because to me, like, he had stretch of 6 games where he looked, kind of like a tier 1 quarterback. But prior to that, he was criticized by his own head coach. Or perhaps it was like 8 games, not 6. I don't want to be like overly negative on him. And last year, I think he was playing like a tier 3 quarterback across the whole year. I did not see the tier 2 guy. He made a lot of boneheaded mistakes, and the accuracy was not there. He was spraying throws. Yeah, like there were occasional great moments. Like he was still playing at like top 12, 14-ish kind of quarterback in the league. But I have not seen like top 8 where I've seen some lists have him. I have not seen that. And you can say, well, he was injured from week 1 that Brazil game, and he played through it. Yes, I get it. Though like most of the quarterbacks are actually playing injured, but I get that. But that just means, what is the sample size of Jordan Love? Because if we have to throw away last year's tape, then we have tape of 2023, where it's like first half of the season, he was criticized by his own team, and the second part of the season, he was playing like a freaking MVP. So what is Jordan Love? And is he a guy that got hot in really good time and now is perhaps just a tier 3 guy? Can he be much more? Or like the accuracy issues is going to, compound a little bit more. He's a sneaky guy. And no, he's not Jameis Winston, not even close. But at the same time, like, is he going to just be an average NFL quarterback? That's all in the realm of possibilities. And first game at Lambeau with Micah Parsons addition. Green Bay is going for a Super Bowl, and you are facing Aiden Hutchinson. Good freaking luck. This dude was just steamrolling for Defensive Player of the Year before he got injured last year. He should be absolutely back, and he's pissed. He is pissed. And I think he's going to want to let the steam out a little bit on Jordan Love. So both guys really under the pressure. And let's talk about second-year guys that were really nice surprises last year, and both teams need them this season to really be almost one of the main characters. In Edgerrin Cooper, one of the best rookie linebacker season that I have ever seen. Jeff Hafley absolutely unlocked this guy, and now with Micah Parsons, Rashan Gary, and this dude as a blitz threat, oh my god, like he could have a monster season. Like he could have, 7 sacks from linebacker position, because like every eyes will be on Micah, then Rashan Gary. This guy could be an absolute lethal weapon. And if he could actually be, I think Rashan Gary is the guy that's going to be most profitable from Micah Parsons arriving in terms of like how many one-on-ones he gets. But the guy that should or could profit even more could be Edge Cooper. And I'm really, really interested to see how this is going to go. On the other side, we have Christian Mahogany. This dude played not even 150 snaps. And yet I said, no, you are not a good backup. You are already a decent starter, which is like, dude, you always talk about sample size. Well, the storyline matters here. The reason why he was just a good backup and really a prospect that was pushed down the pecking order was his health. And he struggled with it in year 1 as well. But when he was out there, he was fucking special. And he was out there in the key games. He was out there in the playoffs. And even though guys struggle next to him, he was not struggling. But with Kevin Zeitler gone, with Frank Ragnow gone, Graham Glasgow moving to center, he actually needs to be damn good. He's a starter right now, and he's kind of the starter that I would say, trust even more than Tate Ratledge. Can he stay healthy? And if he continues to play like he did, this is a guy that could enter the conversation for the best guard in the league. Yeah, that's big words. As early as like midpoint of next year, he has tools for it. This dude is an amazing athlete. He needs to stay healthy and he needs to obviously keep progressing. Overall, this is going to be banger. I would probably lean towards the side of the Lions, but man, I'm just excited to watch. And it's kind of a surprise that this is not a primetime game. But it also tells you there is a lot of primetime games this week, 4, and all of them are kind of low-key bangers. I mean, the one that I was not necessarily excited was last night, Eagles versus Cowboys, and it was a banger. So I get it. You cannot put every team in the primetime. Or can you? NFL? How many primetime slots we have left? Can we push something? No, we will see. Now, the next one is Rams versus Texans. My storyline is sacks for Bears. I mean, Texans had one glaring weakness last year. Okay, it was 2. It was offensive play calling and offensive line. And yeah, they tried to mitigate the offensive play calling and fired Bobby Slovic. But trying to mitigate the problems on offensive line by letting go Laramie Tunsil, who is by far your best pass protecting offensive lineman, I have my worries there. And Jared Verse, yeah, he is absolutely, how do you say it, like choking your lips or something like that. You know what I mean. This dude, yeah, it's a recruited team. One of the best rookie edge season that we've ever seen. I know, like last year, rookie impact was through the window. Like we've seen Mike Neighbors. I mean, Edge Cooper, Jared Edwards, Jaden Allen. It's like so many rookie performances that were just freaking outstanding. And Jared Edwards was absolutely among them. And the good thing for Jared and for the Rams is it was like this. Like he was his best in the playoffs. He was the guy that was putting them on his shoulders against the Packers and against the Eagles in the playoffs. They were close to come back in that game. Not mostly, but he was one of the main characters in that. And on the other side, you have CJ Stroud. And dude had to struggle with bad offensive lines before, but this is probably the worst one that we've seen assemble ahead of him. And I'm worried about him, man. I am genuinely worried about CJ Stroud because like we've seen that in AFC South, just having really damn good quarterback on a rookie deal, and yet you are not protecting him. I mean, Texans have you not like, check what the Colts did to Andrew Luck and what their situation is past Andrew Luck retirement? Come on, protect CJ Stroud. I mean, if you can find good odds on Jared versus sacks in this game, I would take it. Now, it's kind of the same on the other side because Matthew Stafford and what he is, man. Because to me, he is still a tier 2 guy, but he needs to be healthy for that. And his health is one of the biggest enigma of this offseason. There was a lot of questions. Will he play? What is his back? He did not show in preseason. There was a lot of talks about it. As of right now, he's slated to start. But Texans defense is damn freaking good. And their pass rusher, Will Anderson and Daniel Hunter, they are going after Matthew Stafford. This dude is a tough son of a gun. But, the age is coming. His back hurts. I don't think he's 100% healthy. And these two guys are out there with the target on his back. So we will see. Can the offensive line protect him? And can he sustain the pressure that these two guys will put upon him? Now, there is a matchup that I am super interested in terms of wide receiver versus corner. It's Derek Stingley versus Devontae Adams. I mean, two absolute heavyweights in terms of one of the top 5 outside corners, and on a Hall of Fame trajectory, still damn good wide receiver that, like by his talks, seems to be absolutely rejuvenated. Now he is a 2 for them behind Puka Nacua. They have absolutely nice mesh of skill set. They will coexist with each other in a perfect scenarios. And is there a better thrower of back shoulder pass than Matthew Stafford? And is there a better receiver for that than Devontae Adams? Now, perhaps right now the answer would be yes, there are better guys for it, but like take 5 years back, probably not. And these dudes still have like 90%, 80% in the tank. Derek Stingley is going to have his hands full, but he can handle it. We will see. Now, who wins? I would say the Rams just have less weaknesses than the Texans and are kind of actually well matched up because I think their offense can put up some points, as well as their defensive line is kind of the strength of their defense, and the offensive line is the absolute problem for the Texans offense. So I would say this is a good matchup for the Rams. At the same time, it's not going to be a gimme, and it should be a really good game between two teams that I think aspirations are at least the division title. Now, Bills versus the Ravens, another primetime game. And my storyline is, what a treat. Oh God, get this matchup week 1. Oh my God, I love this. And how can we not start with Josh Allen versus Lamar Jackson? When you look at the stats, people would say Lamar should have been MVP. And I cannot say otherwise. What I would hold like for Josh is I think he did it with less talent in terms of overall team. And I would say it was a little bit of a fatigue because Lamar already won in 2023. Josh didn't have an MVP prior to that. But like I told you guys, Lamar Jackson had his best career year. And despite that, he did not win his third MVP. That's crazy. But Josh had a freaking amazing season as well. And these two heavyweights are going to meet again. They met last time in the postseason. It was the infamous drop for Mark Andrews on the 2-point conversion that would tie the game 27-27. Prior to that, Ravens kind of wiped the floor with the Bills. I think it was like 31-9, something like that. I hope this is going to be much closer than that and that we just see these two guys just balling. And because they are absolutely fucking killing it. And to me, last 2 years, they are probably the two best quarterbacks in the league in terms of regular season. Now, one of the matchups that could be one of the deciding factors is Deion Dawkins, franchise left tackle. We've seen him in Hard Knocks, driving his big car, drifting with his daughters. It was fun. And he looked like a really, really cool guy. On the other side, we have Mike Green. And I have, when I watched some of the previews for this game, everybody's like, oh, this young guy, he was leading in sacks last year in college. Nobody mentions why he fell into the second round. This is kind of an embargo on Mike Green that there are off-field stuff with him from the past and not such a long time. If you know me, I'm a guy that trusts an innocent until proven guilty. At the same time, it seems like he was guilty by all the accounts of being fired from that school and kind of sealing some of the things. Whilst that's the truth, I understand why people don't want to talk about it, but I just cannot go without bringing it because that's the reason why he fell into the second round. Because talent-wise, this guy could have been drafted 4th or 5th overall. He is that good. And the stories are he had an amazing camp. So, Baltimore, perhaps, I don't want to say sell their soul because, again, perhaps everything is kind of clear from his past and he wants a fresh start and whatever happened is kind of settled with the victims in a way that they are kind of okay moving on. We'll see. We don't know how this is going to play out in the future. But, just football perspective-wise, this should be a really, really good matchup and one that could be very, very interesting. It's going to be also very interesting to me to see how Buffalo fans are going to react to Mike Green because it's not like those things ain't public. Even though not many previews has this information in them about Mike Green, those things were out there. They are out there. And, Buffalo, Bills Mafia, I think they could have some reactions to Mike Green, and I would not blame them. Now, the other matchup that I'm interested in this game is Derrick Henry versus Ed Oliver. Last time they meet in the regular season, first play of the game, Derrick Henry runs for 80 yards. It's a touchdown. Now, Ed Oliver is not a great run defender, but he needs to be better if they want to prevent Derrick Henry and his big games. I feel like Ravens are actually well built against this Bills defense because they can run the ball, and I would say Bills are more about pass rush, though even that is not like necessarily special. We will see where Joey Bosa is with his health and with his potential to stopping the run, but Derrick Henry exploiting kind of bad run defending by Ed Oliver in the heart of that defensive line of the Bills, that could be one thing that actually pushes the edge towards the Ravens, who I feel like are slight favorites to me in this game. Now, for the last one. Bears versus the Vikings. And my storyline here is under more pressure. Well, it's crazy. Well, on one side, you have Caleb Williams, who was Prince that was promised. And year one, he was good, not great, not bad. Now, he's fighting the curse of the Bears quarterback. Never ever in the franchise history there was a guy passing for 4,000 yards. That's crazy. And now it's like the storyline is kind of, if it cannot happen with Caleb Williams, with the weapons that they have, and with Ben freaking Johnson, it's never going to happen. So there is a ton of pressure on Caleb Williams. And the expectations in Chicago, I think, is at least a playoff this year. Whether they are there, I'm not certain, but the expectations is there. And if they lose game one, if Caleb is looking bad, like there's already some storylines that like, let's go with Tyson Bagent. And I'm like, I like Tyson. Like this dude is freaking great. Like his press conference, watch it. It was so good, man. I'm so happy for him. But like Caleb is a better QB. Like we should not be discussing that. But the pressure is really on. And on the other side, we have a guy that had played 0 snaps in NFL regular season on playoff games. Yet, he's coming to replace a guy that led them to a 14-3 record to a roster that is arguably better than it was last year. And the expectations are, well, if you are good, we should be competing for Super Bowl. So just be good or be great. That is a ton of pressure on JJ McCarthy, and it's crazy when you have not even played a snap in the NFL, and this is the expectations that you have. And for week one, you are facing Caleb Williams, you are going on the road, Dennis Allen and his defense, tough one to ask. Not to mention, you don't have Jordan Edison because Jordan Edison, suspension, 3 games. Now, the matchups, Jalen Johnson versus Justin Jefferson. I'm sorry guys, I was interrupted by my cat who just came and stuck a head into my glass of water and starts to drink it. It's not for you. Don't worry, I will not drink that, but I just needed to take it away because there is a lemon in it and he just should not drink it. Back to the matchup. Justin Jefferson, to me, he is still the wide receiver 1 in the NFL, and Jalen Johnson is top 5, top 7 outside corner in the NFL. Easy. Now, JJ McCarthy, how much of an help he's going to be for Justin, or pretty much the other way around, how much Justin Jefferson can elevate JJ McCarthy, and how much Jalen Johnson, so many JJs in this one, is going to stop him. This should be one of the funniest wide receiver versus corner matchup one. If you adjust this for, let's say, not the greatest starting quarterback, this could be an evenly matchup situation, and we should really see some fireworks. Now, with last one, the storyline here is kind of second chance, coming home. Tyreek Stevenson, I was calling out for his at this suspension for like 5 to 6 games or straight up release. After the Hail Mary debacle, I was like, if you continue to play this guy, you are sending the locker room the wrong message, and that is, you can fuck up, you can cost us a game, and you are not going to get punished. I feel like I would really like to see the alternate reality when they bench Tyreek Stevenson or when they fire him. What would happen with the Bears last year? Because that Hail Mary was the start of like 9-game losing stretch. Now, for this season, this dude is talented. He still has a potential to be really great number 2 corner. And Dennis Allen's system is absolutely tailor-made for Tyreek Stevenson. So don't be surprised if he has a great season. And on the other side, Adam freaking Thielen. Oh God, I love this man. Like, he comes home to the Minnesota, he takes a pay cut to make it happen. He was like, clearly, I want to do. I feel like if Jordan Addison was not suspended for 3 games, this might not have happened, because to me, this is part of it. What Adam Thielen brings is like, yeah, he can be the security blanket for the first 3 games. He is so easy to like create connection. He just knows where to go, and he could be absolutely like low-key huge guy for the Vikings this year. I don't think he's going to have like 600, 700 yards. I think it's going to be 500, 400, something like that. But he could be freaking crucial in like easing up JJ McCarthy to the start of the season, give him some easy layups to throw at, being the security blanket, the secure hands guy that's just going to prevail him like busting out and just help him get his feet wet, as they say. Because without Jordan Addison, yeah, you still have Justin Jefferson, you have TJ Hawkinson, but you need this. I mean, are you crazy? You need this security blanket for you. That was all, guys. I hope you enjoyed this. We will see you next week. If you want some shorter version of this, I will have shorts for every single game. Follow me here, follow me on Twitter, GMaty-NFL. I have my channel even on TikTok, so tell me, follow me, and enjoy. Bye bye.